Right, I'm going to put a message in now. Let's go.
Alright everybody, good evening, welcome to the aesthetically beautiful Yas Marina circuit. Let's hope we can provide some aesthetically beautiful racing between 20 EU1 drivers that are going to fight it out for a good result this evening. In the commentary box, Jack Prentice.
Pleasure to be here as always, Limmy. Yes, aesthetically very pleasing, a striking track, a striking location. And hopefully we get the right kind of striking racing tonight. There are plenty of overtaking opportunities if you're prepared to be brave. You know, you've got down that long straight. I think it's turn 9, isn't it? I'm just trying to go through the track map now. 3, 4. Yeah, turn 9 at the chicane. That's at the end of the first DRS zone. That straight is 1.2 kilometres long, and then another. It's almost a straight, but another long acceleration zone. Just out of that chicane into turns 12 and 13, that chicane down the end, just at the end of the second sector. Now you can also maybe hang it around the outside, or maybe launch a cheeky one into the hotel section, but you've got to be on the brakes and with a willing dance partner. So yeah, certainly places that you can get your overtaking done, and I think we'll see a range of setups as a result.
It is a circuit, of course, designed by Hermann Tilke, as he's designed many F1 tracks. Looking at it from a track map point of view, it should provide some very good racing. In my previous experiences, it has provided some of the best commentary pieces I've ever done. It's provided insane entertainment. Not the same in real life. We saw for the past 2 years that it's been quite disappointing and requires either a retirement or a safety car to spice things up. But we may not need that tonight. Yeah, like you say, 2 straights, just like Brazil, one after another basically, with a chicane in the middle. Does provide some good action. We have seen in the races this week, I'm sure Jack's going to mention how Monday went, that lights out down to the hairpin can be quite wheel to wheelie and scary. Of course, turn 2, 3, 4 is easily flat in these cars. How was your race on Monday? You told me you got a P6.
Eventful, certainly eventful. Having ended up, I think, P6 provisionally. I'll say no more on that. and having started 15th, it just proves that you can overtake at the track. What can happen is you can end up in a bit of a DRS train because there's not much time in between the two, and as long as you can stick with them, as long as you can stay within 2 or 3 tenths of a second in terms of their overall pace through the tight, twisty third sector, then if you can stay in that DRS train, it can be very difficult for you to be passed, but it can also be difficult for you to pass. You might then consider a move on the inside of the hairpin to try and get up the order, but you have to rely on catching out another driver, so it would be very, very difficult to do.
What's the typical? Of course, Abu Dhabi is dry. I've never seen rain before in an online session with Dynamic. What is the optimum strategy if there wasn't going to be Bert Mylander driving around the track?
Difficult one to call this. The reason being is that you can, I think it's a Ferrari that's gone off at the end of the first sector. There's 2 ways to skin a cat here, really, maybe even 3, because you've got, first of all, the obvious is a 2-stopper because it's quite high and heavy wearing, so you may want to start on softs, put your medium tyres on for the second stint, and then decide where you want to go at the end. Some may go mediums if you've got a fresh set left, or if you haven't, then you're going to go for the medium tyres, and maybe fit a lap or so early. But we have seen a couple of drivers. Hershey did it so well, and JSAC did it so well in EU2, in EU3, on Monday night, where they just simply extended that first stint, looked after those soft tyres, and were able to pit in the middle for maybe lap 10, lap 11. And eat those medium tyres out to the end. And if you can do it and you've got decent pace, you're on to a winner because you saved yourself 30 seconds in the pits.
Yeah, there's Samad with a broken left end plate there in his Ferrari car. Welcome to everybody in the stream, and we hope we can provide you some good entertainment this evening, as some of the other tiers have already done. We've had some times at the top. We've got Risa, who's just clocked in a 32.1, Bollins 32.4, joined by Vaporizers of 7 thousandths of a second behind, mid 32s for Alp in the Vaporizers teammate this evening in the Racing Point. Then comes Stinson and Dynastic, still a few drivers without times in. We've seen, Jack, throughout the tiers, that quite a lot of people invalidate every now and again around this track.
Yes. I was one of them. I invalidated on one of my runs and then managed to completely mess up. I think, and you saw that. I've just seen Fruitful invalidate on his lap. No, very easy to mess up in that final technical section, whether you invalidate or whether you miss your braking points. It's not a particularly nice part of the track to drive, if I'm being brutally honest. It's all very one line, and especially that third to last corner, that left-hander just after you go underneath the hotel, very low grip. You just kind of never know really where your car is.
You can probably see in the sky there is actually quite a lot of cloud in this quali session, so might bring the temperatures down just a little bit. We will find a car very shortly for Jack to take us on a lap of the Abu Dhabi circuit. It is quite a long circuit. It is 55 laps at 100%. The endurance tiers will feature that final race of the season, so that's 28 laps for the drivers during the week, the Europeans and Americans. Just trying to see if anyone is on an out lap. I don't believe so. I believe everyone's on in laps at the moment.
It's a lull, isn't it? I think we're going to have to follow the first person that does go on an out lap, or I will. I'll tell you who I'm on board with, and then we'll have to sort it from there, won't we? Got Swarner now, just coming through on soft tyres. He's the final section now. How's he here? Again, fairly neat and tidy. Attacks the curb. Again, runs wide at that third to last corner now. A bit of an awkward arrive and drive set final corner, and he doesn't quite get there. He decides to spell out of that one. He's not happy with that particular attempt. He's 13th at the moment on a 1 minute 33.8. Now, there's movement. There is movement.
Is it a Renault?
Samad, he's a man who needs to get on with it. He's the first man on an out lap, so we're going to follow him. He's in the Ferrari now. You might not follow him. He's not coming into the pits. He is indeed.
I will follow him. I will follow whoever you want to follow. And before you go through the lap, by the way, Jack, I just want to point out Cozzy's little paragraph that they put. I think this time. So it says the Herman Tilke's design track is dominated by the 1.2 km straight, as you said, between turns 7 and 8, with slow speed corners marking its beginning and end. Make it a honeypot. Don't know what that means. For overtaking moves. A honeypot. What do we mean by that? A honeypot.
Well, either means there's a lot of bees around there, or it's there tends
Who made
to be
that?
quite a lot of action.
Did Thomas
We've
make
got,
that?
I don't know. We've got Samad now coming through the final corner. Let's follow him now as he prepares to launch.
Yes,
now,
take us on a lap,
he's a good exit
Marina.
out of the final corner to go across the start-finish line. Fairly short run to the first corner. A bit of an awkward, clumsy left-hander down to fourth gear, 100 miles an hour. Shift up early into fifth gear to go through the second corner, and there's the famous pit entry. Fairly easy flat turn 3 now, a slight left kink before you finish the first sector into another awkward chicane. Clip the curb right there and you'll be fine. Now get a good exit. Don't go too wide because you need to have a decent entry for the hairpin. Hairpin's fairly easy, 50 miles an hour now. Out onto this 1.2 kilometre long straight, one of the longest we have in Formula 1, building up to about 205 miles an hour. Can be a bit disorienting, trying to look for where your braking zone is. Very difficult, very easy to lose your concentration now on the brakes. This is the apex there for the first left-hander. Awkward high curve for that right-hander now to lead on to your next DRS zone. Technically counts as a turn that, but it's an acceleration zone and no more. Set yourself up to go slightly wide into the braking zone. The curve on the outside won't put you off. This is the apex there again as he finishes the second sector. Not his finest lap. Another poor chicane there. Runs wide onto the curve. That can unsettle the car now. Just go through that left-hander. Now you go through the right-handers. 3 of them, almost like Turkey's turn 8. Awkward braking zone going into the hairpin now. But one of those that you really do have to get right, otherwise you'll lose time. Double left-hander now. That is that awkward corner. Off camber. Tags the wall on the outside. Not his best lap, this. Right-hander now. Penultimate corner. Awkward. Does that well. Sets up into the final corner. Poor there. Misses the apex. You need to get onto that, and that's a 1 minute 33.5. Goes only 13th for MSA Samad. Yeah, it's an awkward track, really. If you're out of a rhythm here, as you saw Samad was there, he never really got back into it. And that there can make for a rather poor lap. It's probably the difference between 1 minute 33.598, so effectively 1 minute 33.6, and I reckon a 1 minute 32.8. I reckon that would have been if he'd have had any kind of rhythm. 3/4 of a second lost there, Limmy. It was really.
Yeah.
That's the importance of having a rhythm.
Yeah, I know, Samad. That wasn't very good. I thought my track guidances were good, but Jack Prentice beats me by a mile. Here comes Carter. Just half a tenth off in the first sector. Second sector wasn't bad either. Through the final corner, the Haas driver crosses the line and goes P4. Then Alp is to come to cross the line. He's going to go P2, a tenth and a half off Risa at the moment. Alpha Tauri to cross the line. I believe it was Rowan who goes P6 at the moment, and Charlie to cross the line P7. Same time as Rowan, sets it after him.
Fruitful went third in the end because Boland's just gone pole. So Cool Hands Carter was fourth half a minute ago. He's now 8th. Very close at the top, isn't it? 1 minute 32 flat to 1 minute 32.5. Charlie and Rowan beat Cool Hands Carter by 1/1000th of a second. It's like Jerez in 1997, if you remember that well.
Stinson round start of a hotel section. 39.448. 10th off purple second, half a tenth off purple first for Stinson. So, he loses it quite badly, and that Mercedes is into the wall. That's a pit stop for Stinson. Dynastics is the man behind, but has invalidated. Then comes, I believe, I would guess it's CDR. Let's go on board. It is CDR. Hasn't invalidated. Only one of two who hasn't got a time in at the moment with 6 minutes on the clock to go. CDR round the second to final corner. Attacks the curb. Not bad. Left hand side. Stay within the line. Final corners to go. Can CDR break into the top 10? He goes 12th fastest.
Yeah, it was a much better final corner than his teammate. Really got it hooked up, but it's, even there. It's never going to be easy, is it? It really is never going to be easy. Now, Simply Rush has got a bit of a dilemma. He didn't complete that. He must have been validated very late on. He's 20th. And, well, he's got time to make it back. I don't think he'll have time to go for another lap. And then, all the fuel, actually, to be honest, looking at his DRS output. Yeah. Pressure on, Simply, because this is 2 laps now which he hasn't got in. He's 20th. He really can't afford to mess this up.
Leader gap's looking very, very good. Half a second separating the top 8, then another half a second for the next 9, down to 17. So it's very close at the moment across the track, but it's quite long. 92 seconds at the moment. Can we break into the 31s if they can hook it up? I believe so. A lot of people in the pits getting ready for their final batch runs to set the grid for tonight's race. And that's of course after the second batch and people starting to invalidate. I saw quite a lot of red lines on the TAS screen, a lot of them blue at the moment, and that's because they're inside their dugouts, shall we say.
I like that term actually. I've never used it as a dugout before. So nobody's actually.
So where's the time, Jack? So Bolin was purple by 4,000. Well, he's actually not purple. Reese is purple. It says on the task for Bolin's, but Reese is purple. 4 thousandths of a second, incredibly close. Reese sets the quickest second sector as well by 400ths of a second, and it's Bolin's final sector that's done it. Alp's only 300ths off Bolin's third sector, but he can't quite match the first and second. So it's very, very close. It's literally half a tenth within each sector from 5th to 1st. Ish.
Yep, and then you've got a couple of reserves. Well, you've got Spawner. He's effectively here as another practice session for him ahead of AM1 tonight. You can't blame him if there's a McLaren seat free. May as well take it off.
Use
because
it.
The worst he can do. Well, the worst
McLaren is struggling in the overall as well, pretty badly actually.
Thank you.
Maybe because you're not there in endurance. Well, you are now actually.
Yes,
because Tichy wanted to go down.
Well, there's one way to announce a transfer. But
it wasn't my decision, I promise. he said, listen, I can't do it, put me down. So we put him down, but that means you get your McLaren seat back. So that's good. It's a good and good, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'll take it. But no, back to serious business now. No, McLaren need obviously a bit of a boost. It's not been a solid start, has it? But
Williams need a boost after Hungary and Monaco, quite frankly.
Well, they do indeed, because it's been the 2 rounds from hell for Fruitful and Bolin. 2 men you were.
They haven't won a race in 2 races.
Yeah, 2 men that you were expecting to be right at the very top. To quote Harry Redknapp, and and for whatever reason, Hungary was just a nightmare from Fruitful. He got his tactics all wrong, and Monaco.
It was right until he got a drive for his spun. I mean, he did start very low, but I think he was 4th. One of those hards, the people who started on the hards came through, and then it just went to pear-shaped, didn't it?
They were all behind him, and he'd had a lot of work to do to get through. So
yeah,
you could say that, but put himself in an unnecessary position where he was having to fight.
What's Charlie just
he'd
said there?
He'd have been told quite comfortably. And then Monaco claims for he and Bolin. I think they both had races that you'd be looking to forget. But now we've got a final flurry, haven't we? There's a lot of drivers on that back straight. They're all doing different things as well. Coolhan's Carter's weaving around, trying to get some heat into those tyres. And literally every other driver that goes past him are doing the Kimi Raikkonen, just driving arrows straight, as if to try and keep the tyres. So
the first
tactic at play. Swarm's not going to make it out because he's still in his pit box. He will start at best 18th, but
yep.
I think that might be tactical because it means he'll keep an extra set of soft tyres. Well, no, it isn't, because he's just left the pits.
I'm just watching the traffic situation that can build during the hotel section. And remember what I said. Williams have messed up in the last 2 races. Someone needs to take that, and Vaporizer has. I'll go through the standings during the formation lap. But at the moment, Williams have work to do, and so does the previous champion from last season. But Vaporizer, Dynastics at the top, a couple of others want to make a statement, and Abu Dhabi is a good place to do it. Charlie crosses the line, still the same time as Rowan, doesn't improve. Just trying to make sure we stay on track.
Yeah, he's the first man over the line as perhaps you'd expect. He doesn't really want any distractions. He's now going into the second DRS zone, nice and tidy through the chicane. No more, but he can't be taking too many risks.
I just want to add, Jack, Vaporizer has said a 16.639, which was purple. Now Reese has said a 16.601, so Reese is clearly behind Vaporizer, trying to get a gauge on where everyone is. It's extremely close. Fruitful has said a 16.640. It says it's purple, it's not, but it's extremely close at the moment between the top 6. Not bad from, who is that there? That's Dynastic 691, Stinson 698, 685 from Charlie in the first sector, so improvements coming in. Dress A. Basson has retired, so he can't improve. That's P14 all worse at the moment. Swan has got a checker flag next to his name, which demonstrates that he won't be improving either. Here comes Dynastics then in the McLaren. Look at how quick you can whack these cars through, unlike last year. Through the final corner, Dynastics, his final opportunity to finish high. It's only P10.
Well, he might end up, well, he's 11th now because Samad's got his act together. He gained 1 second, over a second. He gained almost 1.5 seconds. That tells you how bad his lap that we did the track time was. Stinson, that's not going to do you any favours, sunshine. Locks up going into the hairpin, going into the hotel section. Ends up on the curb.
At the front, Jack.
But he's in good company.
At the front, it's a 997 from Risa, a 001, 014 from Bolin, who's just clocked in 13 thousandths of a second off his teammate. The top 7 clocked in. CDR 14th, stays 14th fastest. Carter is going to be the next one, but he's slowed down. It might be a Renault of Konzo who moves up 1 place into 15th. There's another Haas of Ricciardo behind, who's 18th. I'll quickly flick through. He's going to cross the line. Can he improve on 18th? Goes 12th. It's not bad. It's a 30% improvement up to 12th.
Well, it's not that close at the front, is it? 4,000.
No. Just 17.
17,000.
No, but
really
Risa.
The gaps are too big.
No! Risa has set a pole here in Yas Marina, the man who's helped set up the lobby. Oh, that's why Tom Robbo has not completed his lap. I've just seen, but he has no wing at all. So that's why Tom Robbo can't improve. Only P14 for the AlphaTauri driver. Risa, good lap, 4 thousandths of a second. Something carried him through. What was it? Oh, it was that final sector. It was a 35.9 compared to a 9.31 and a 36 dead. So that final sector, I'm pretty sure Risa did that. Was it either Hungary or Monaco, where he just nailed that final set? Who was it? Someone nailed a final sector, and it helped a lot.
So we're looking through the grid. 1 second covers the I'd say the top 18. It sounds a bit ridiculous in the 20 car field to say the top 18, doesn't it? But yeah, that's where we're at.
And that's why EU1 is the best. I understand why people say EU3 is the closest per 20. EU1's pretty close. And these drivers are the best we've got. Charlie and Carter, 5.14, 5.15, 1 thousandths of a second. Could mean all the difference. Dynastic starting P11, so of course he has the choice, and I'm sure he will opt to maybe start on the medium, so he will be in front of everyone else on the same strategy as him. I'm sure we saw in EU2 that all the top 10 went softs and everyone else went mediums. Are we going to get the same response? I don't know. Maybe. I'm sure there'll be a lot of medium runners. Hards are useless, Jack, I'm being told.
Yeah, I mean, that's only if you're on a recovery drive, would you really start to use hard tyres?
Hard tyres are a bit of a no-go. We saw in real life, well, 100% anyway, but they try and do a medium hard. But here, at the pace we drive, no. Hilly says, footballing Risa. Yeah, I mean, we've seen the DRS train, but can happen. Fruit for the win, footballing Alp, so Blaze saying Alp will get a podium. That'd be nice, wouldn't it, Jack, to see Alp get another podium, being involved in another podium interview in EU1. That'd be nice.
Certainly would. No, he's a driver certainly capable of it, starting quite high up, isn't he? So I think it's two Williams and Risa. I think if they can get away, I think Vaporizer is going to be smart enough to know not to get involved in anything he doesn't need to, because in this division, in this tier, it's about picking up and banking points, isn't it? And I think he's going to be very good at doing that. So of the drivers outside of the top 10, obviously every single man inside the top 10 will be starting on the tyres they qualified as the best time on. Dynastics, Ricciardo, Stinson, Tom Robbo, Dre Sebastian, Galidra and Simply Rush are all starting on medium tyres. That's 7 of the bottom 10. And 3 drivers, Cordingolo, Conzo and Swarnane. The McLaren is just using it as a test session, so it'll probably be in the top 10 a bit later on today. They are all on soft tyres. Now what that means is they should come through the field at quite a rate of knots in the first 2 or 3 laps. But they're going to be holding on by the end of their first stint. Some might try and extend that into a 1-stop, and if you can, good luck to you, because it'll put you in good stead. You'll be slow towards the end of the race, but avoid trouble, and it can work and pay massive dividends.
Fake says at Risa Fruitful. Exoskeleton says Risa Fruit Alp. Got a lot of Alps on the podiums here. Constructors at the moment, everybody. Williams 65, Racing Point 50, Red Bull 44, Mercedes 41. Then comes McLaren, AlphaTauri, Renault, Ferrari, Alfa Romeo and Haas at the bottom. The Drivers' Championship's brilliant at the moment. Vaporizer 50 points, Bolin 43. Those two at the top. Then Risa 27, 25 for Dynastics, 24 Dre Sebastian, 22 Fruitful. You can see them all for yourself, and I'm sure Tass has a command so you can see that. An eventful race to come, I'm sure, over the next 45 minutes or so. A lot of points to be up for grab. Anything can happen, of course, in a Formula 1 race. And let's see if Risa can really take it to those Williams drivers at the front of the grid.
So yeah, cars starting now. The final car isn't even into the penultimate corner. There's the top 10 already lined up. It really is quite a long snake here. I think the drivers starting in 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th is going to be the ones to watch. If they can make progress from lap 4, lap 5 onwards, then they're going to be in with a really good chance, because once the fuel burns off for those fresh softs, they should be in business.
Here we go then. It's time for Abu Dhabi. 28 laps, 20 cars. Who's going to come out on top? It's lights out and away we go. They weren't held for long of a start. Bolin gets a mega start, but he's going to stick behind the Mercedes of Risa. Then comes his teammate. Then comes the 2 racing points with a Ferrari on the inside. It looks all clean at the front, but there's a yellow flag at the back. We'll get to that in a second. So Risa ahead of Bolin, ahead of Fruitful. Then comes Vaporizer, then Alp, and then AlphaTauri around the outside of a Ferrari as we head into the chicane down to the hairpin.
Damage for Dre Sebastian. It looks like he got together with Calzo, and that's what sent them backwards. They're certainly recovering now. So disaster for Dracer, because he's obviously on the medium tyres, so he was planning to go a bit further into the race, and obviously that plan has now failed. Great start from Bolin, sensible driving from Fruitful. He knows his teammates on the outside, he knows they've got to look after each other, and that's exactly what they did. And now they're going to get after Risa, who doesn't have help. Stinson's back in 11th and can't impact this. Great start for Dynastics. Dynastics is up to 8th place on medium tyres. He's put himself in a great position.
He could have done better when Rowan had a challenge with Samad into a chicane of 11, 12 and 13 down to the hotel. Calzo, wind damage, Dre Sebastian, wind damage, CDR, Swan and Simply Rush all have wind damage, and all of them are above 40%. Apart from Calzo, it's 12%. Looking at the task system, Bolin has got ahead of Fruitful, and that's a position swap. There's not actually been that many position changes towards the top of the grid. Of course, Dynastics, like you said, but Risa, Vaporizer, Alp, Samad and Rowan all staying the same. Lap 1 is complete, but not without controversy at the back of the grid.
Yes, it gets tight into the first corner. We've seen incidents, I think, in almost every race this week, and that's because it's a clumsy left-hander. You've got the wall on the inside as well, which really doesn't help, because it means that everybody's got to go a bit tippy-toe and try and avoid almost avoid the apex, and that means there's a lot less space. There's plenty of runoff area. People don't want to go on to that because it's a difficult re-entry here.
You can see the people in the pit lane on screen. Charlie, Rowan, there's one more person. Conzo with warnings already. Risa's pushing early to get away from Bolin and his teammate behind. The standings are trying to reset. We're on lap 2, everybody. DRS is definitely not enabled, like it said at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, I think Calzo's going to sort of wait it out on soft tyres. He might as well go 3 or 4 laps at least and get himself into the race and open his strategy up. He can then put medium tyres on to go to the end, even if you do 12 laps on each, that should be more than possible. So it's sensible driving from Calzo to stay out on those soft tyres, because effectively it just means it will cost him 4 or 5 seconds, as opposed to 20 odd that all of the other drivers who've had to pit, including Rowan, I must say, it's a bit surprising, but all those drivers who've had to pit will have ended up costing themselves.
So at 8.5 seconds from 1st to 15th, then you've got the 5 people that pitted early on due to damage, rowing CGR, Swan Simply and Dressé Basson. Reese's covered by the 2 Williams, they're covered by the 2 Racing Points, then comes Ferrari McLaren and Alfa Romeo, Samad Dynastics and Charlie as we head on to lap 3. Bolin sets the fastest lap so far, so he's trying to keep within tabs of the Mercedes. Now, is Abu Dhabi going to be a DRS train, or are we going to see some fun overtaking with that DRS assistance? 15 kilometers an hour, down a kilometer point, 1.2 kilometers straight, should be able to be used. Like you said, Jack, Dynastics doing incredibly well.
It's 10 miles an hour nearly. So, Bolin, how feisty are you feeling? Well, the answer's not very.
Oh, Dynastics, by the way, Jack might be feeling good here. Maybe having a run at Samad here. He's got that slipstream of a medium compound. The softs are not dying that early. Surely McLaren inside, Ferrari outside into turn 8. Either McLaren has the move done. Dynastics is making moves early. He's got to keep it now, though, as we head down the second straight.
Well, he got DRS. He was close enough to Alpha ahead because he had such a run that he was able to use DRS again to defend down that back straight. Now, the soft tyres are not going to be, even on lap 3, they're not going to be in great nick. Side by side there, I think it was Cool Hands Carter.
Oh, someone else is getting involved, Jack. Yeah, you're right, it was. It was Charlie, Stinson, Carter. Definitely wasn't that order. Now, Stinson's lost out to both of them, and Carter's looking feisty, trying to make a move on Charlie. That's a difficult corner, isn't it? That's that 90-degree right-hander. I hate it. So tricky.
You can miss your braking point quite easily, and that's really where you can lose.
Someone's in the pits. It's Alp. Has he got damage?
No, I'm just looking at him now. Actually, I'm just going to watch his stop.
It looks fine.
He decided to go to me. I think he's just going to split his race in half because no damage. He's not changed his front wing. But what he does here is he gets out in clear air, and that means he can run his race and dictate the pace. Because people now have got a bit of a choice.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Over there, Calzo's done the same thing.
Does it work, though?
Well, it worked for Raggy. Raggy got shuffled back on Monday night, and he pitted, I think, on lap 3, lap 4, and he ended up gaining quite a handful of places. But it does mean that he's committed to a 2-stop on 2 sets of mediums, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing.
Stinson might be going for 2 moves in 2 corners here, Jack, by the way. He got past Carter with DRS down the first long straight, and now he's going for the Alfa Romeo Charlie down the second straight. Could be 2 moves for the Mercedes driver on those medium compound. He's going to have to stick it in because I believe that Alfa Romeo is going to put up a fight round the outside. Stinson goes through. 2 moves, 2 corners. Can he keep it stable? Just about. Charlie hits into the back of him. No wind damage, I believe, but Charlie's going to come back as we head round the flat right-hander down to the tight corner. There is contact. One of them's come off really badly, and Charlie's lost 4 places.
Yeah, never going to work, really. It was always optimistic. You kind of have to be ahead, really, if you're on the outside, because you are just going to get ushered out. Now they're going to side by side through the 3rd last corner. But yeah, that's why. He's also burnt all of his ERS. Not only was he trying to defend, but now he's trying to attack, and he's lost all of it now, pretty much. Everyone else is running around him on 9%. Apart from Cool Hands Carter, he's burnt every single last drop already. Medium tyres are starting to come in. There's a couple of drivers in the pits already, Samad and Vaporizer. That means the Williams and Risa have got to react now, because those soft tyres, they won't be fast. It's 4. I know they've only had 4 laps on them, but they had qualifying as well. That's 7 laps. But these medium tyres, it's a really powerful undercut, sorry. And you'll do yourself no favours for staying out there. You just lose 2 seconds, and if it's an evenly matched field, you'll struggle to get them back.
Charlie got damaged, by the way. 12% to the front right end plate. Bolin looked. What's that?
I'm not surprised. He did give. I was on board with him. He gave quite a whack.
Yeah, who's the 10th here? Is it Ricciardo and Carter? It is. Tom's just behind as well. We'll go on board with Ricciardo's gearbox. We'll get a good view here. Tom Robbo outside, Carter inside. AlphaTauri versus Haas. And both of them putting up a great fight here between the two of them. Carter cuts for corner.
He's going to have to give that back.
And I think he will give it back there. I think Tom stepped off though.
Carter, yeah, it's fairly obvious there. Carter cut the track to maintain position. So I would think that these stewards will have a little talk about that. So there's no doubt that happened. So he will probably find himself in front of the stewards if he doesn't allow Tom Robbo past quite soon. No, he's still pitting. Neither of the Williams and unless the Williams and the Mercedes are committing to either a too soft run or they're going to maybe decide that they're going to try and stretch it to a one-stop. You can do it here, but you've got to be prepared to nurse those tyres, really nurse those tyres, and it's very difficult to do in Abu Dhabi.
Absolutely, and you would have thought Bolin or Fruit Form, if they can't pit on the same lap, would have tried an undercut on Risa, or if Risa pitted, at least one of them would. You would have thought Bolin being the teammate in front would have come in first, but no can do. Bolin was 2 temps. He's then just nipped to 6 temps. So did something happen? I'm not sure. They head down to turn 11 at the moment, and Reese he's not going to be quite in a spot to bother yet. I don't think Bolin's going to force that move just now. Lap 6 of 28.
Was that Reese used all of his ERS and Bolin used hardly any of it. That's why the time was lost, because Reese burnt up. I think he's going to be stopping in the not too distant future, whereas Bolin decided he would keep some in his pockets.
Ricciardo and Tom having a battle. I believe Ricciardo's just won it. Maybe he was defending that P6. Great start from Ricciardo. Of course, moving up positions from some of the soft drivers pitting, but he's putting up a good scrap. He's got a few cars behind him, 4 of them in fact. Tom, Carter, Conzo, Caladre. Not every single driver you want behind you. But he's doing well so far, the reserve driver. You said he retired yesterday. So.
Well, he did retire. We had a really bad race because he ended up 18th according to the stats I saw. He's always been a quick peddler, and so I've no doubt that if he did get it together, he would be a threat for points. And certainly, he had a very good start. He's fighting off Tom Robbo, another man who's an EU2 driver in the regular season, but he's just here doing a job, filling in, trying to see what points he can score for his team. I suspect, though, he's probably going to be in a spot of bother because Tom Robbo not only has DRS, but much more ERS, and I think Ricky's rather wisely letting it go for the time being. Is he or no? Tom Robbo's not opened.
I'll tell you something, Jack. Reese is in big trouble here. Bolin, left-hand side, more battery, as he said before. That should be a free move. The Williams driver is ahead of the Mercedes and takes the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And now Reese is sandwiched between the 2 Williams. Behind them, Tom Robbo has passed Ricciardo down to turn 11. And that's 2 moves within the top 6. Reese no longer leading the Grand Prix. Quite a textbook move. And now Bolin may make that pit stop. We'll find out in the next 10 to 15 seconds.
Yes, so Boland was really toying with him, wasn't he? And you've got now Fruitful waiting quite patiently in the wings. They both got, regardless of whether they got better tyres and such, they both seem a lot more comfortable. But Easter looks like he's really hassling that car around, and even there he's losing time to Boland already. The gap's 3/4 of a second. But you're in almost a one-stop strategy. If you can eke these tyres out for another 2 or 3 laps, you will be able to get mediums to the end. I think that's what these guys are doing, whereas Alpha Vaporizer, okay, they're going to have the advantage, straight off, but they aren't going to have the advantage for much longer when they pick. They won't be too far away from making their... I mean, if these guys get to lap 10, lap 11, they'll only be 5 laps before Vaporizer and Alpha Samad make their stops.
Penalty coming in there for Rowan. One of 2 drivers who now have a penalty. Is Tom Robbo going to defend from Ricciardo? Gap half a second, I believe so. Right hand side, Caladre going past Carter in the Red Bull car, and that's P8 for him. going down to turn 8 now. He has to defend that one more time. How's Risa doing here? Gaining, not enough track to go past. This is a nice battle up top, and there's still a heck of a long way to go. Ricciardo and Tom Rubber having a battle too. Ricciardo 1 lap later getting back past the AlphaTauri driver, and Cool-Hans Carter struggling to keep that Haas on the track during turn 13.
Yeah, Collider's just passed him for 8th place as well, so those soft tyres really not working out for Cool-Hans Carter unless he can somehow stay with these, and the evidence doesn't look like he can because he's just been hanging on there by virtue of DRS. Yeah, they're not working for him. Vaporizer and Alpha have almost caught the back of him, and they will pass him. They will then extend the gap, and they will, they'll be clear of him. So he's got to really pick up his pace, crash it for the next couple of laps, see where he ends up. But yeah, certainly 9th place for the Canadian, who's in EU1 because of his schedule, and certainly needs to pick it up a little bit. Otherwise, I don't see him scoring points at this moment in time. 9th place at the moment, but certainly won't be there when the first stops recycle.
So that very small clip was Simply Rush passing Swanner in the Alfa Romeo at the back of the grid. That has been done. P18, can he improve on that later? Tom Rubbo just pulling out to the left hand side, maybe lowering the tyre temps. I've not quite got my eye on the fuel modes that people are using, but we'll definitely check that out later on. Tom Rubbo, is he able to make that pass on Ricciardo? They both swapped in the past 2 laps. Are they going to swap for a 3rd time on the 3rd lap? And the AlphaTauri round the outside is going to pass, and these two just keep swapping every single lap down that 2nd straight. It's good entertainment.
Good move, good tactics there from these two. They're not being stupid. They're just using each other's DRS to try and sort of preserve the status quo. I think they'll start battling. They're very quickly allowed Collider to pass them all, and I think that's wise then to fight, but not fight too hard.
That's the recent fruitful pitting. Bollin's tyres highest 58%, Dynastics mediums 40.
Yeah, a lot better than I was expecting. So they're going to come out behind Alp and Risa, but and Vaporizer, sorry. But those two drivers have just got quite awful traffic in the form of Cool-Hans Carter's Haas. Those softs are gone. He's lost 2.5 seconds to his pairs in front, and he's never been a man to give up positions lightly. In fact, Alp's having rather a lot of difficulty with him trying to go around the outside of the hairpin. You don't always see that, do you?
You don't, and he does have some DRS to protect himself, but so does Carter.
Carter, and I think Carter might try and attack for whatever reason, going into the 2nd DRS zone, unless he can't get the exit, which no, he can't.
I didn't even know you could take that much of that curb without it giving you a warning. I mean, they literally had all 4 wheels over the curb.
You don't take any of it, because if you go in between, you go sort of half and half, it'll just launch you. It'll spin you around.
Right, so this is quite important then. Probably expecting a Bolin stop here, and Risa will be the first man, of course, behind him or in front of him. Could be a big moment of the Grand Prix. Has Bolin pitted? Just having a look at the track map, I believe so. And here we go then. This is the moment. I don't think Reese has been caught up in too much traffic. Samantha's been putting a pretty good pace on those medium tyres. Let's have a look then. So Bollins, of course, for Williams Garage at the end of the pit lane. They've got to reroute themselves via the tunnel. It's a beautiful pit exit, but not easy. And let's see if Risa can retake the Grand Prix by going on the undercut. Round the first corner, the Mercedes goes. Where's the Williams? He's just coming out of a tunnel now, and he's going to be behind his teammate also. He comes out there, and it goes Risa, Fruitful, Bollin now.
Hasn't worked out all that badly, because yes, he has lost a place, but if Fruitful's slower and he knows he's slower, he'll let him go. But Reese has been held up, so any time lost has really been that great, because Samad is slower. Even 5 or 6 lap old cars, they are slower. Yeah, it kind of means that they're all going to bottleneck up whilst they try and pass the Ferrari, if they can pass the Ferrari, and it'll keep these three together. What it does do is give Vaporizer and Alpha a little bit more breathing space, although I don't know how long that is going to last, because Reese is going to go around the outside here, Limmy.
He is indeed, and Fruitful, oh, is an end plate gone? And Fruitful's off the track as well. It's a Williams end plate, and I believe it is Fruitful, and that's
far too late on the brakes. Fruitful wasn't expecting the Ferrari to brake when he did, because Reese was obviously making the move, and they're trying to avoid each other. Yeah, it's too late. Didn't really see or foresee when maybe he should have. He should have foreseen that they were going to be slow together, and lost all downforce at the front end, and that's what happens. You lose any kind of braking performance, and that means you go straight into the back.
It's a McLaren off, he's back on, green flag. It's just the little things at the moment for Fruitful. I mean, you know the song, every little thing's going to be alright at the moment.
It's going to be all wrong, isn't it?
That's not proving. Yeah. Oh no, I mean, I didn't really get a great view, I'll be honest, but obviously it must have been the braking, like you said.
I was on a different view, so I could kind of plot where things were, and yeah, he was just a bit late on the brakes.
Tom Rubber might be double overtaking here, by the way, Jack. Properly double overtaking here. Red Bull and Racing Point. Vaporizer going on the left hand side. 3 wide nearly. Vaporizer trying to take both of them. Not going to happen. No space. And then out comes in behind. And Tom Robbo kind of had to concede. Vaporizer tries to get him at slipstream. He's going to make the second move later on, but Tom Robbo is going to come back. And Tom Robbo might come back for a second move on the Racing Point. Stays behind. Alp still at the back. 3 switches there, but 2 switches in the official order. And Vaporizer in front of Tom Robbo. Just about though, Jack. That was getting a little bit feisty there.
Alp's going to be gutted, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's now having to do his work here. Round the outside. Good luck, sub.
He's done it!
Great move.
And Martin Tyler comes. He's done it! Oh, he hasn't. Oh no!
He had done it. Then he had. Then he hadn't.
Oh no! He didn't do it, Jack. Well, he did do it and then failed.
It's going to be 2 seconds though. By the time he gets past this lot, it'll be 2 seconds plus, and it'll be minus 2 seconds by the time Risa gets on the back of him. So this is really crucial. Bolin as well is on the back of Risa. He's caught half a second just in the last lap alone. And so they really do need to get on and get past these older medium shod runners. Vaporizer has managed to do it quite well. He's 8 seconds now behind Dynastics, who's the current race leader. But yeah, no, Out is going to have to get going here.
How's Ricciardo doing on those new softs? Let's have a gander. Going into the hairpin. Sorry, the chicane before the hairpin. Brand new sauce for oh, there has been a swap. I will quickly, as fast as I can, go to Alp, who has passed Kalaja and Red Bull. Now, can Alp make 2 places on Tom Robbo here? He didn't quite get the exit, did he?
No, but I don't think that'll matter so much. I think you might still have him down there because no, he's nowhere near, is he? I thought he'd just simply drive up to the back. He's another man to hit Tom Robbo.
Oh no! I think Kalaja just got wind damage unless I'm blind. Oh, he has! It was that's the second end plate that's gone missing on this track at the same corner in 2 laps, and now Mercedes has gone past the Risa, and now down the inside goes Bolin, and he's also got past. What a view that was from the bay, shall I say, of the Rhines, but oh no, Kalaja's got wind damage from the braking action.
Look at what's happened here. Look at what's happened. It's 3.5 seconds between Tom Robbo and Vaporizer.
Yeah.
Alp as the 2 protagonists, the 2 other main protagonists, they're one-stopping all over it.
Alp has just got past Tom Robbo into turn 1. First overtake into turn 1 we've seen. Now Risa is trying to get past Tom Robbo. Bolin's trying to fire his Williams nose in 2. And is Risa going to go down the inside of the chicane? He's going to wait to the straight. This is getting a little bit tense here because there's a lot of points up for grabs. We're about halfway through when we cross the line. And yeah, like you said, Vaporizer out 1 stopping, you think?
No, Vaporizer isn't, but Dynastics, Stinson, Risa and Bolin all are.
Bolin has got past Tom Robbo, so has Risa. He's behind Alp. Then comes Bolin. Alp is he's got to manage that pace now, stay in front of these if he can, but these two are mightily quick.
Yeah,
Scarily quick.
Yeah, Tom Robbo did really well to just get out of it and let it be. So Boland's used most of his ERS. Alp has used all of it. So has Risa pretty much. Boland's got a little bit more save, but really he needs one of these two to sort each other out. Because all they're doing now is being bottlenecked behind the racing point. Great news if you vaporizer, but they really do need these to get on with it.
Caladre, yeah, just confirming 25% damage for him. Exactly the same incident as Fruitful. How much damage did Fruitful get? It didn't say.
You got pretty much the same, to be honest.
Oh, did it? Yeah. Can't see it. Tom Mower's picked up a pen. That could be huge later on.
Yeah, there's not been quite so many, has there? I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, 8. 8 drivers, but there hasn't been in all that many.
There hasn't, and the official race start time, hopefully that Goodman Reese has set, meaning that the end of the race should be nice and dark. And that's where the action starts, right? And we've got action here. Out Reese and Bolin behind each other. Simply Rush has retired in the pit lane. He's been sat in the bottom 3 for this Grand Prix, so unfortunately no can do. Here comes Risa to make that move on Alp. Left hand side, here comes Bolin as well. He might go down the inside too, but Alp might be able to cover this off. Risa inside, Alp's got the apex to the next corner, but he's slow on the corner. That slows Bolin down. 3 slows in 1 sentence, and Bolin's got to go round the outside of Alp here, and Risa doesn't have DRS, who could be in trouble as Alp got the room to go on the left hand side. Racing Point's going for the move down the inside. Risa around the outside. The Racing Point gets touched. That slows Bolin down, and Risa can now try and pull away as the Williams and Racing Point are still having a scrap.
Bolin's managed to mug Alp. Alp's been really beaten up in all of that. But Risa and Bolin keep rolling on. Now they're going to go after Vaporizer. Vaporizer, who's stuck now behind Stinson, who can really give his teammate, Risa, a bit of a favour here if he can potentially hold him back. There's nothing in between them on the ERS. Even if they can just hold him back one more lap, that could be quite crucial. The undercut here hasn't really worked, certainly for Alp, and I don't know that it's going to work for Vaporizer now that Risa and Bolin both have clear air.
Vaporizer, top of the championship, 50 points at the moment, 7 points ahead of anyone else in EU1. He's looking for the championship, got to get past this Mercedes ASAP, lap 16 of 28. We are proving that Abu Dhabi is and can be used for overtaking. Just the drivers in real life aren't as scary. MSA Samad, 3-second time penalty. Vaporizer's turn to go into that P2 slot for a moment and drives past quite well. Bolin's not going to have a chance to get past Risa, still half a second. Samad not going to have a chance to get past Tom Robbo either. The gaps are starting to show throughout the rest of the grid, however, and there's only a few battles towards the front that are within that 1 second lenience. So
Risa's trying to get past, Stinson's trying to get past Vaporizer. Vaporizer now, who's effectively, you know, he's been a pit stop slower than Dynastics, isn't he? Because he's now 4 seconds back. Dynastics is getting to the point where he's going to be putting on soft tyres in the next lap or so. Probably get to lap 18. He'll have a fresh set of soft tyres left over, you would assume. And Vaporizer now really does have to get on with it. He's got clear air for 3 seconds, probably about 3 or 4 laps. No, he's got that for a bit longer because Dynastics comes into the pit. 16 laps, he's going to put 12 laps on those soft tyres. Lighter cars, the fuel effect won't be quite so bad. And interested to see where he feeds back out. I fancy he'll clear out and Fruitful. And he might even clear Cool Hands Carter, looking at it. I think he'll come out probably in the top 10 still.
I'll give you a statistic, everybody. Dynastics, Stinson's and Dynastics tyres at the end of the pit, well, the start of the finish line, were exactly the same on all 4 tyres. How about that? So both of them driving them as much as they can.
Well, he's come out actually in a really plumb place. He's come out just behind Ricky, 3 seconds behind Ricky on old softs. They'll deal with him quite easily, and then he's got a wounded Collider just ahead. So he's come out in a fantastic position, isn't he?
What's the leading gap for Dynastics? 15.1. Yeah. Oh, Ricky! I've never seen someone turn left so sharply. I thought he was going to go into the go-kart track that was on the left-hand side there. But Dynastics has passed, and up top, Bolin has passed IFR Stinson. Stinson didn't really do his teammate that much good. Yellow flag, and someone's crashed on the final corner or going into the pits.
Yeah, no, he had a bit of a whoopsie going into the pits, I think. I didn't quite see it, but he's retired. He's got everything he needs, but he was all the way back in 19th. I don't think anything was really saving him there. So, Risa, Bolin, Stinson are your top three. Stinson, I mean, he gave as good as he got, to be fair to him. He did what he had to do. So now pit for soft tyres. Come out probably... I would say he'll come out a bit further back. I think he'll probably come out around 11th, I think, probably 11th or 12th when he does hit. Still going though, so he mustn't have. I don't think he has a fresh set of soft tyres, otherwise he'd have probably fitted by now to try and put them on and see where he ends up.
Charlie Pastra Basson a few seconds ago. You might have seen that on the timing screen on the left hand side. Vaporizer now 7th and 8th. Just coming on the charts there, so it's all shaping up to be a pretty good finale if Dynastics can push through to some Adam arrest. A safety car of it, well, yeah, a safety car really would be amazing. Now, can Reese fend off Bolin for 11 laps? Not the easiest of asks. I'm not gonna lie.
Especially when Bolin's 2 tenths behind you going into the DRS zone. I think if I'm Bolin, I'm not going to press the DRS for a little bit. You can save it quite easily. If he can just stay in behind for a little bit longer, then he'll have a little bit to attack him with further around the race, rather than try and get involved in anything he doesn't necessarily need to get involved in.
I think Tom Robbo has just passed Fruitful, who's out of the points at the moment. 75% Stinson's highest, 75-72. Vaporizer has passed Ricciardo, so that's one of the racing points past the Haas driver. Leader gap for Vaporizer 15.6. So let's see how much or how closer he can get to the front of the pack. Do you think it'll stay as it is, or well, I think Dynastics will get past Samad. Obviously, he'll get past Stinson. So maybe a Risa Bolin Dynastics at the moment, maybe.
Difficult, really. So Samad's come into the pits, Stinson's come into the pits. Now Stinson's going to go on to. Oh, he's on soft tyres. That makes sense. Samad is going to go on to medium. So nip and tuck really between those two as to where they'll end up. I think because what you've got there is you've got a soft tyre that'll be very very quick for 3 or 4 laps, but will not be anywhere near. Anywhere near. Sector 3 yellow flag. Cosrowan
pit lane, yeah.
Retired in the pit lane.
One of the drivers who got the damage on lap 1, of course. Obviously really struggling from there. Yeah, I mean, I'm not disrespecting EU3 by the way, but I think it's a little bit harder to come through this grid than one of those grids.
I don't know what you're saying. What do you mean?
I need to stop disrespecting the EU3s. I don't think Blaze is my friend anymore either.
Yeah, no, you probably should stop disrespecting the EU3s.
But I'm not wrong.
That's where your commentator comes from. I could take everything very personally.
But I'm not wrong. I mean, who would like to drive against any of these? I wouldn't.
No, they're absolute monsters and would win most of the leagues they're in, to be perfectly honest. So, but we've got now.
Oh no, that is not what he wanted. The McLaren driver.
I don't think it'll matter. I think you're too far back. You're too far back from the car.
Late safety car?
I haven't really had any notion of a safety car. We didn't have one in EU3. I can't remember whether we had one last night. But,
we've had one slip up, haven't we? Which is obviously the McLaren Swanner can't retire the car properly. He says in the chat. And what was the other slip? It was just after the second straight, wasn't it?
Simply Rush is retired, isn't he, as well?
Yeah.
Don't know whether that was that would have been a pit lane, wouldn't it?
How's Stinson doing anyway? That's popped to the Mercedes
show. Fresh tyres, fresher than Tom Robbo's ahead, and they're both going to be catching Cool Hands Carter, whose mediums will be grinding enough towards the end of the race. They're not going to be nice at all. As you can say that for probably Samad, Charlie and Gordon and Golo. as well. All those drivers bar Stinson have penalties as well. I think Stinson's going to get him here. I think Tom's not quite got the tool to defend.
Not quite. And that is for moved on. P7.
If they're sensible, they won't fight going into the next corner, because they want to catch the Haas and pass him quickly, and then they've got 6 seconds worth of open air to Alp and vaporise her ahead. So if they use the brains, then they won't fight. I think Tom Roberts recognised that. He had DRS, but he decided to keep hold of his ERS and his DRS to go for the greater good, I think it's fair to say.
How many drivers have brains? That's the question. Calzo is close to his teammate. The 2 Renaults 13th, 14th behind CDR Charlie and Samad. Samad just in the top 10 at the moment. And we'll keep flicking back to the leader just to ensure we don't miss anything if something happens. Bolin, of course, got that extra bit of tyre life. Percentages at the moment, Reese's highest 41 and Bolin's highest 38. Could 3% mean everything? Probably not. But something. Maybe if it's 100th of a second, it's something. Bolin is gaining, and gaining quite quickly. Patience will be rewarded, he's probably thinking, Mr. Prentice.
Yes, patience often in Formula 1 is rewarded, but you've got to make sure that your timing's right. No good being too patient and allowing Freaky to settle in. He's not really saved a lot of DRS, has he? ERS, sorry. He saved a lot of DRS, but he's not saved a lot of ERS, and I'm a bit concerned by that part for him, because if he had, I figure that he'd have a lot more chance of passing. Still, 7 laps to go, so, you know, it's not out of the question, certainly not, but, yeah. Difficult one to really see, to be honest. You've got, if you look...
Oh, Tom Bobo and Carter steaming through. Stinson's got the inside, and the Haas driver has been touched. The Mercedes has been touched by each. They were flying, Jack. Honestly, they're absolutely bombing down that straight.
In the middle, isn't it? They all met in the middle, and I think they're all relatively unscathed, aren't they? I can't see anything, certainly anything showing up. But,
no. I'm not tired. I'm just speaking too much. There's a lack of oxygen. Blaze says I have a brain. Captain Limit. Maybe. I'm not going to slate you anymore. I've done enough. I've done enough McLaren slating. I'm sorry. I apologise.
Yeah, no, you better have, because McLaren currently sat in 3rd. Vapourizer and Alp 4th and 5th. I'd be disappointed really with how this has worked out. They're 13 seconds in the case of Alp, thereabouts away from the lead. 10 seconds if you vaporizer away from the lead. It's just not really worked. They might catch Dynastics, and even if they do, okay, you've got a penalty, so they might gain 3rd and 4th. But
for only 31%, he put them on 16 halfway. He could push.
Yeah, they would have hoped though that they'd have been able to make better inroads on the drivers ahead though, because they're not going to catch the top 2. I know Fruitful not lost bits of his front wing. They wouldn't have caught him either.
Lack of oxygen. Right, so Bolin reset. No, but we can check. The warnings on the timing sheet. Reese has 2. Bolin has uno. Alp has 2 as well, no penalties for him. The 2 racing points starting well. So at the start of this race, it was Reeser, then the 2 Williams. Fruitful's into 9th. After that, end plate damage. And then came the 2 racing points after the Williams. They're still there. Just Dynastics has come out of nowhere. Jack said he had a brilliant start. That has been proven, by the way. But Vaporizer's keeping in touch with Dynastics, who has a penalty. So... is it looking all great for Dynastics?
They were fresh, were they? I don't think they were fresh when they were put on.
Well, the softs?
Yeah.
They had to have been. It was his first change.
Because you could have used all 3 in qualifying, and that doesn't leave you an extra set to play with at the end.
Oh, here comes Bolin.
Down the field.
Race lead is changed. Or race leader. Bolin is ahead of Reeser. Now, can Reeser come back here? Who's got the DRS? It looks like the Mercedes has.
Got a bit more Ers.
And Reeser is going to have to try and get this back here, and he's Might have to go down the inside to get it. He's going to go as late as he can. Doesn't make the move. He probably could have squeezed that Mercedes down the left hand side, and he struggles to get that car through. Bolling's pulled away a tiny bit. Now, can Bolling pull away? Can Rita stay within that second?
Bolling's got to take off now. He's 8/10 of a second ahead. He's got to really wring the car's neck through this final second. To be fair, he is 9/10 of a second already. But yeah, he's got to really wring that car's neck. Otherwise, it's just going to be another cat and mouse DRS trade. But nobody's going to win from that. So, yeah, he's already a second clear. Now, if we can keep away from that, then it's perfectly judged and perfectly timed. We certainly said that patience may be rewarded. I think for Bolin, certainly now, it has.
Penalties on screen. 3 seconds Dynastic, 6 for Tom Fruitful, 3 and 3 for Carlton Samad, 9 for Charlie, 9 for CDR, and 3 for Conza on the bottom 3. Ricciardo, Calandra, Justin Bassen, the 2 Red Bulls, 16th and 17th. Not their night tonight. They are top of the overall constructors, I believe, though, so Red Bull are having a brilliant season. Brilliant season. And this is race 4 of 11. After next week, we're basically nearly halfway already. What's next week? Japan. That'll be interesting. We saw what happened between the 2 Mercedes, Jack, at the start of Japan last season.
That first corner, not for the faint-hearted, if I remember rightly. Certainly some clenched buttocks at Mercedes.
I like that word, buttocks.
Dynastic here into the second DRS zone.
How's Dynastics fading? Not very well. Dresse Basson's retired in the pit lane. Must have heard me on the commentary. Vaporizer goes round the outside of the McLaren of Dynastics, and he's into the podium places without penalties. Now Vaporizer has 5 laps. 4 laps when they cross the line to try and close that gap to Risa. 5.8. It's a bit of an aspo, but the tyre difference is what's that? 28%. It's not bad.
He may well get there, but he's not going to have enough time to pass them. And certainly Alp's not going to have enough time to pass them. So, yeah, no, I think Alp will do well to catch Dynastics. Pace isn't really there, is it, compared to Vaporize? Vaporize has just been a little bit above. But no, certainly a solid day for Racing Point. It certainly worked out better than the prophecy I had not 2 laps ago. But we'll gloss over that. Rita's just picked himself up 3 seconds.
Yeah, and of course TAS gives us a championship option, so we can see what, obviously disregarding extra penalties for stewards. So Bolin would take the lead, the championship with 68, Vaporizer will be just behind in 65, and Reese will be third in the championship with 45, and Dynastic.
I think they'll be level on points by the time Vaporizer, because Vaporizer would take second place, you would think, if he can take just 1.8 seconds out of Rita.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it would be a lot, but his tyres are half the age, so I can see it happening, to be honest. He has been quicker than the pair of them, so I would suggest that those two will end up barring any kind of disaster class, or indeed a miracle. I would suggest that those two will end up neck and neck. By the time they end up, I think that Vaporizer will know Rita's a penalty, and I think he'll just make sure that he does catch him up. And, you know, he's taken a couple of tenths out of him just in the time we've been speaking. I could be wrong, sometimes out.
Ferrari and Williams going wheel to wheel, Fruitful and Samad. Now we'd expect this to be for a top 4 fight. At the moment it's for P8, but Fruitful is passed and Samad picks up a penalty for that. Can he get that taken off by the shoes? I'm not too sure, as he tries to go round the outside, but there's no room. Is he going to go down the inside? Doesn't want to hit the Williams. Does very well to get out of the way just about any quicker, and he might have smashed into that sideboard. That Red Bull at the back is struggling big time.
Really hot.
Canada,
yeah. Really get hot, then you lose any semblance of control. Did anybody get the idea that Fruitful might be driving Cross?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
and he's not had the look. He's not had the look. I mean, the incident in Hungary, tonight with the end plate, was it easily avoidable from Fruitful's point of view? Maybe. I wasn't on board. Should he have expected Samad to break earlier? I don't know.
Potentially, you know, I don't think you can have any complaints about getting damaged, because at the end of the day, he just missed his breaking point. But you certainly wouldn't send him to get your lottery ticket.
Oh no!
You certainly wouldn't there. I think Samad gets into the back of Fruitful, and that might earn himself a bit of a talking to, because it lets Cool Hands Carter through.
It does. Juan Carter is going to get 2 moves here. He's going to make 1 legitimate overtake. Oh no, he actually breaks quite early. I thought he was going to go for that.
Around because he hasn't got anything to defend himself with. Yeah, you really wouldn't send Fruitful to get you Euro Millions tickets, would you?
No, you wouldn't. Here comes Carter, finally down to turn 11. But again, this is not the Carter I know, by the way.
He's not taking any prisoners. He was turning across, come hell or high water.
What are the penalties there? Does he need to overtake? Ah, he's on foot. Okay, that makes sense. He doesn't need to overtake, technically. And you know what the side pods are like in this game. 1 wrong move and you do a Seb Vettel in America. You hear me say that a lot because he just spins.
They're quite glitchy, aren't they?
Yeah. Has Bolin made a slight mistake somewhere? Because Reese has got a penalty anyway, so he might as well just back off.
Well, no. I think Vaporizer has now taken
Vaporizer's within 2.8. Yeah, you're right.
That gap's come down about a second a lap the last 2 laps. We've got 2
you're right.
left. The prophecy I made earlier might technically be wrong, which doesn't normally happen, but might be happening here. Alp's just about caught the back of Dynastics, but Vaporizer here, he's not done yet, is he?
No, I mean Dynastics penalty, by the way, we're dropping behind Alp, so that'll be Bolin, Vaporizer, Reese. What's the leading gap?
Then Alp.
0.4 then out. Yeah, so 8.2. Yeah. So it's been quite a bit of a mix, hasn't it? I mean, it's been a good race actually. I'm quite impressed. Oh, Abu Dhabi always throws up a race, and we don't see wild incidents in EU1. We're not going to see. Oh, Risa, jeez, Louise having a tank slapper there. Nearly putting it into a wall if he got that wrong.
Yeah, they're really done at this point, aren't
we
they?
don't see the what are the rears? Damage 67 for Risa.
Yeah, you wouldn't drive home on them, would you?
No. Oh my! He's scaring me. Yeah, he's driving. Oh.
Yeah, that's where a couple of drivers have lost it late on. I won't name them because they're probably still upset about it. But yeah, certainly difficult. Certainly difficult to keep your rears in check late on. Vaporizer might be able to have. I think he needed 1 more lap, didn't he? Needed 1 more lap.
Well, Alpie's gonna. I mean, of course, get past Dynastics on the penalty, but he might be able to do it on track here. By the way, if Bolin would have picked up, he's not going to, I'm sure, but if he picked up something, then Vaporizer might win the race. He is on 2 warnings. Here comes out down the inside of Dynastics. Should be a fairly textbook move, and it is so. Oh, wait, never mind, Jack. The McLaren's fighting back.
Well, you would, wouldn't you? Why not? You've got 10 seconds to play with. Why not have yourself a bit of fun? It's the last lap.
Is it the last lap here, or is it one more?
He's not going to do anything daft here. He's 6 seconds behind the cars in front. He's got no prospect of overtaking them. I'm going to watch Bolin because I'm going to watch and hope he doesn't get a penalty. And expecting the drama in the extreme if he does.
Well, here we go then. It's been a pretty good Grand Prix. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's the final lap, 2 final corners, and Bolin has got to be extremely careful on this final one, which I'm sure he will do. Not had a race in 2, but he's got a race in Abu Dhabi, and Vaporizer gets that P2. What a drive from a Racing Point driver, and Risa takes that podium slot. I did tell him to get a podium in private message, and he has. Alp with his Racing Point teammate in the top 4. Congrats, Dynastics, the man. Get him a McLaren as many points as he can.
Into the penultimate corner, and then ran out of fuel. Ran out of fuel across the line.
That was so anticlimactic, Jack. I was literally trying to spam my way through to it, and you just went, he ran out of fuel. That's me.
It's just so naff, isn't it?
That driver of the day, by the way, the guy who didn't run out of fuel at the end there.
Well, there's a lot to be said, isn't there, for keeping enough petrol in the tank.
I'll make sure for Danielle that I go through the whole of the standings, or she'll kill me. There's the podium. And yeah, Bolin did well, overtook when he needed to, good pace. Not too many issues. Vaporizer coming through at the end as well. And Vaporizer might... Well, that will mean, Jack, that Vaporizer and Bolin will be equal on points. 7 points was the gap. That'll be a +7 for Bolin. They'll be equal on points. How about that for race 4 of 11? Bolin and Vaporizer equal on points.
Like I said, the one thing I don't like about this league is that it is just far too, it's not open enough. It's not tight, it's not tight enough, really, is it?
Nah.
Alright,
Not tight enough.
And then let's just make sure.
Oh my days, did you see that? That's what you were commenting on. 29.660, yeah, for P7. 29.993 for P9. 3/10 of a second between 6 and 2 points.
Close, isn't it? That's what penalties do.
Who got fastest
Stay
lap?
away from them. Calzo was 12th across the line. Stay away from them. And you're in, and your quid's in.
Quits in. Alp got the fastest lap. So that's 13 points for the. He is American, isn't he? Yeah. For the.
Turkish American.
Oh, oh yeah, I was just seeing the flag. Yeah, Turkish American. That's an interesting one, isn't it?
Well, America is a country built on immigration, so you do get quite a lot of different mixes, which I think is only to be welcomed. Just a quick one before we start the interviews as well, just to make sure that you check out the F1 Armchairs group on Facebook. We've got a new partnership with them. Formula One discussion really is the name of the game there, and well, that's really for armchair fans, as you may guess, through the Facebook now, which we all have been this last year, haven't we? Now, as we just make sure that some of the drivers are in position in the interview room. We have all 3 drivers. I'm going to start with the man that crossed the line in second, but he unfortunately will end up third, and that is R4 Risa. Risa, third place. Okay, yep. You have pole position, but you can't be too displeased, can you, with a podium finish?
No, it's pretty decent. I don't know if I got pole position last time, but I started P1 and ended P3, so 2 weeks in a row. No, a podium is always nice, but I really wanted the victory today. But Bolin was just faster, and Vaporizer had a massive tire advantage at the end, so we couldn't really keep up with Vaporizer's pace at the end.
No, and that's unfortunate, but still to come away with solid points, especially being backed up by Stinson's recovery drive for Mercedes. You must be pleased that you've got a decent haul to go into Japan with, which is you're almost halfway through the season now. Is it just about picking up points not only for the drivers but for the constructors as well?
Yeah, that's pretty decent at Stinson. I think he finished P6, right? So yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's pretty decent for the team. Our goal was to win, or try to win the constructors before the season. So it's looking tough, but we keep going.
Risa, well done. I sent you a message before. Hope you can get a podium, and you replied, "I'll try," and you did try. You got it.
Yeah.
After some hard work.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. I'm so sweaty at the moment, so I have to change my shirts. So yeah.
You say sweaty?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mate, we're not actually in Abu Dhabi. You should have put some aircon on.
That's right.
Risa passed. Bolin passed you at the end there, down to turn 11, the second straight. The first straight before that. And I reckon you could have whipped it back in down on the inside. Why didn't you?
I wouldn't take the risk though.
Not worth it?
No, it wasn't worth it. I don't know. I just tried to stay behind Bolin and hope he got a penalty, but he didn't. Yeah. P3 is
third.
pretty decent, I think.
Yeah, so that's third in the race, third in the championship now. And what are you going to take to Japan next week?
It's not my favorite track, to be honest. I think Bowen's gonna win there to put the pressure on him.
No. We're going to have a Mercedes double like last season. Bolin and Fruitful are going to go off sideways. No, I'm
Stinson
joking.
is pretty decent around Japan.
Oh, that's your team, mate. That's good.
Yeah, so, but it's not my favorite track, so yeah, points would be awesome. A P6 or P5 could be really good. So I'm not looking forward to Japan, but the next races should be pretty good from my side. Hopefully.
Fab. Well, thank you, Risa. Thank you for hosting the lobby as usual, and enjoy your 15 points, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going to go to second place now, and that is NSX Vaporizer. Vaporizer, about 6 or 7 laps from the end, I said that your strategy might not have been working out. That shows what I know, doesn't it?
Yeah, it didn't really work out, but I'd still gained 2 places in the race. Guess that was, I don't know what happened to Fruits, but rest just had the pen, of course. Yeah, quite a boring race as well. Bottled quali a bit, and then yeah, just a bit of a fight with Elp, I guess. Well, not really a fight, but and that's it.
Obviously with the teammate behind you, did you feel sort of quite secure, really, that you had cover behind, you weren't going to have too much in the way of trouble behind you, or was it a case of you were going to fight each other and whoever came out on top?
Yeah, well, there was nowhere behind him anyway, so like no one with the pace at least, or like the tires. Just congrats to Bolin, I guess. He had was way more consistent and just had a better strat, I guess, or I don't know if it was a better strat, but at least it was way more consistent.
Vaporizer, nice to see you again for an interview. It's now, this race now means that you and Bolin will be on exactly the same points in the championship. At the top, race 4 and 11. You're doing pretty well, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm still not really happy with it, but I think there is more in it still. Like, I had to pace on some tracks, I guess, but like Belgium, I just completely fucked it up. And yeah, this race was fine. I wasn't expecting a P2 last week, so yeah. I was hoping for a top 5, so P2 was really good.
What you're also contributing towards is a brilliant constructs battle, because at the moment the Williams team can't have 2 people in the top 4, and they haven't for 3 weeks. So that means Racing Point, Red Bull, Mercedes are all coming through. Now Red Bull had a shocker tonight. So that means you and Mercedes, and by the way, Alpa's done brilliant tonight. I don't know if he's your full-time teammate or not.
Yeah, he is now. I'm really happy with it as well. So
he is performing very well, as are you. You got a pretty good team going there.
Yeah, I think we both didn't get the maximum result, to be honest, but yeah.
So
I think he did a 0.7 in practice.
Well,
actually a 1.2 maybe.
Oh, seriously?
Like, yeah, I did a low 9 in practice with him, and he did a 0.7, and we just both lost like 5/10 on our laps in the real race. So I guess I was doing like
what you're trying to promise
0.7.
me is there could be a double Racing Point podium at some point.
Well, hopefully, yeah. We're aiming for that, of course. Like, it has to be a 1-2 at one point, sometime.
Does it in Japan? Is that one of your favourites, or is it like
Yeah,
where you hate it?
Really like it. Yeah, I love the first sector. It's the only thing I don't like is the hairpin, but the rest of the track is really nice. So yeah, it's gonna be a nice battle, I guess. Still.
Well, that's great. I mean, top of the championship, level on points with Bolin, and your constructors is probably very close to the top now as well, if not the top. So what a good week.
Yeah.
And now you can take it to Japan and do it again.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Well, good man. I look forward to seeing you next week, and enjoy your 18 points.
Yeah, thanks.
Bolin, great victory. Really was quite important after quite a poor Monaco that you got back on track today, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Monaco was really shit for me.
Beep!
Yeah, no, I think the polite way of saying that is didn't really work out. Was that always in
No.
the back of your mind, really? That you had to get yourself back on the podium, get yourself down, on the top step to try and sort of reassert your dominance after what had previously been a really good start to the season.
Yeah. If I want to, to try to win the championship, I need to be good every race. So in Monaco, it wasn't my race, not my quali. The whole Monaco, I don't like it. But this race, it was pretty good. The pace was there. The quali was not that good. PB was a 0.6, and now I did a 0, but still P3, good start. Then unfortunately, Fruit made a mistake. So yeah, it's unfortunately not that many points for Williams, but next week I hope we get more points for the team.
Bolin, well done. Nice to have you back on an interview.
Thank you.
Very good win. You're a brilliant driver, but now you've got a driver here called Mr. Vaporizer who's coming for you, and he's coming for you quick. Are you starting to feel the pressure now?
I think every race I feel a little bit of pressure, but I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about my own race, and that's it.
How would you assess your performance tonight? Was you patient at the right spaces? Did you obviously made the move on reset at the right time? How impressed were you with your overall pace and performance?
I was really patient. I was just watching Reese where he was faster than me, and I was trying to save the tires, but yeah, if you push around this track, your tires will be dead at the end. So I was trying to save it. Then I wanted to pass him, and I wanted to see what I can do in the front. I was going outside, above 1 second, but then the tires drop it so badly when I push it, and at the end I was so slow, and I was one warning away from penalty as well.
It's really bad, isn't it, how the tires drop off?
Yeah, it's not fun.
You
can't push.
Can't
push the whole race, and it's you need to look after your tire. It's not fun. But yeah, it's you can't do anything about it.
So it actually requires some skill.
Away. Yeah, it's just driving patiently. Really patient.
And final question, Bolin. Japan. How do you feel about it?
I really like that track. I really do. I got pretty good pace around there. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Good man. Well, congratulations, Bolin, Vaporizer Risa. Thank you for the interviews. It means a lot. And Jack Prentice.
So we're finally balanced now, aren't we, at the top of the championship? I think between Vaporizer and Bolin. Vaporizer, who's never going to let you down, and Bolin, who can be very much hero or zero, and he's been hero more often than not. I think at that point, with 7 rounds to go, level on points, I think it's all to play for, and it's going to be a very exciting Japanese Grand Prix as we approach the midway point of the season.
Yeah, I've just been staring at a Williams car in my showroom for 10 minutes, and I need to get it off. Need some new liveries, but we've got to wait till June, July for that, and courtesy of EA. That's it for EU1, everybody, for another week. Week 4 is done. We have 7 to go, and it starts with the figure of 8 circuit in a week's time. Check out AM1 in 3.5 hours' time. And check out EU4 tomorrow, which I'm sure they can bring some excitement to Abu Dhabi. It was a good race. Thank you so much for watching and all of your support. And please do join us next week for Japan and Endurance. We have a 61 lap race in a Singapore on Saturday. Don't miss that either. And that's it for me, Jack, and the drivers on the interview podium kind of thing. And I'll end it by saying a very good night, and as Thomas says, goodbye.